Soundtrack to the love we make. Let your love flow and shower us. Let your love flow and shower us.
Peace and love, peace and love. How everybody feeling? It's a beautiful day outside today. It's very, very nice, very nice. Clear skies, the sun is shining. It's been a lot of pollen out, and that has been having an effect on me as far as allergies are concerned. But this morning I'm seeming to be okay. We just gonna pray that it stay that way. But yeah, it's a beautiful day out. I'm on my way to church, and I just wanted to hop on here and share a couple things that have been on my mind and kind of what I've been doing and dealing with. The last video that I posted was trials come to make you strong, and that was a message for me, and I pray that there was something in there that was for you as well. Well, that was a message that I definitely needed, considering just some of the things that I had been going through and experiencing, and, you know, how it has just had me in this constant state of come on, baby, constant state of reflection and just processing and understanding everything that's been happening to me and for me. So in the past week, I ended up having a conversation. I had a couple of conversations, but I had one conversation in particular with one of my brothers, one of my homeboys, partners, whatever you want to call them. And we talked about kind of what we always talk about, like life, what's been going on, and, you know, how we're dealing with things, and how we are starting to, or how we have began to understand things on a higher level now than when we used to talk years ago. And it was a beautiful conversation because there was a time when this brother, when we would talk, this brother was a loose cannon, you know. He was a hothead, and, you know, he was ready he was ready to take it there at any given time. It didn't matter to him, you know, the consequences, nothing mattered. And there was a period in time that I had to physically distance myself. And even though that was my brother, there was a time I had to distance myself because of some of the choices that he was making, and the fact that there wasn't a lot of thought going into his actions before he acted. You know, it was just, you know what I'm saying, a snap. It was, no matter where he was, no matter who was around, if you pushed him to that point, if you provoked him, and it didn't take a lot to push him or provoke him, I ain't got no fluid. Oh, is it this? There it goes. Yeah, it did not take a lot for this brother to go there, you know. And it didn't matter to him who he went there with, because he would go there with he would go there with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we got plenty of times where, I mean, we never got physical. But I mean, there were times we would have a disagreement, and it would just be like almost a brawl. You know what I'm saying? We would get, to talking, and hey, you know what I'm saying? And but we always knew deep down, man, that we were brothers, and we never let it go that far. But it would verbally go there, you know what I'm saying? It would be loud enough to make you think it was about to go down, you know. But I know that I mean, this guy is a couple years younger than me. I don't know, maybe at least 7 or more years younger than me. So, even when the relationship or brotherhood first started, it was, he was a kid, and he was a kid that I guess we call it mentored, even though I was still lost, but I had some sense of, hey man, we don't need to do this, and that's what I offered to him, at least, some voice of reason and an alternative to the life that he was choosing to live. All right, so but yeah, like I said, I was older than this brother when we first linked up. And as a matter of fact, I met him at a church. I was playing the organ, and I had got invited to play the organ at like a revival or something like that, and he was on the drums, and he was smacking, man, but he was a kid. I'm like, at that point in time, I had not seen no little kids smacking like that, except like on TV, like Tony Royster or something like that. But I mean, this kid was smacking, and he was like 10 years old. I'm like, what's your name, boy? So anyway, long story short, man, we just been brothers since then. Like, I would try to get him whenever I had to go play in certain churches or whatever. I would try to get him to come play drums with me, because he, he was so good. And in doing that, I ended up learning about his life, and where he was mentally, and what he had going on in his family and all of that. I would have to pick him up a lot. And man, I got to see, and man, it just kind of touched me. And I just wanted to make sure that I was always there to offer some sort of guidance in case he wasn't getting it anywhere else. So fast forward, like I said, we had a conversation this week, and it was a beautiful conversation, because just seeing how much he has grown, and the thing about it is, it's nothing that I take credit for, in seeing him at this place, although he may feel like, it was thanks to my voice or me, offering guidance and stuff and knowledge as he's been growing up. It's like he, in his eyes, he may see me as being a part of that. But the thing about it is this, and that's what this is about. DYIG, discovering your inner God. There was nothing that I did, there was nothing that I've said, there's nothing that I've taught him that he doesn't possess within himself. And the fact that now he's coming to a place of recognizing these things, and now we can have a conversation to where he fully understands everything that I'm saying. But here's the thing about it. I've never changed what I've said. I've never changed the guidance that I have given him, which even lets me know something. I was operating a God within before I even knew I was operating a God within. Because the message has been there. The voice has been there. I was just the vessel that was used to communicate or convey the message. And in times I would think that I would just be talking to save him, to give him an alternative to the streets. But in me talking to him, I was talking to myself. And not that I was caught up in the streets, but the messages that I would give him would then cause me to have to be accountable. You can't give somebody a message. Well, you can, some people do. But it gets to a point where that's no longer acceptable for you. But giving people a message that you don't even hold yourself accountable to. You get to a point where that starts to eat at you and bother you. So if you're sharing messages with people, you got to be ready to live what you're sharing. So the conversation, it was powerful, because we just talked about where we were, what we had going on, and some of the things that he mentioned that he's realizing about his life, and some of the steps that he's realizing that he has to take now. It's like, wow, he's speaking it. It's not me saying it and then he's like, wow, you're right. It's him saying, hey man, I realize this is this and this is this, and I've been doing this, and now I realize that I need to do this, and man, for me to just sit and listen and hear that he is understanding where he is and what needs to be done, what time it is, the time and what must be done. And it was a beautiful feeling. Beautiful feeling. And that helped to bring light and joy to my feelings and my situation this week, because just like those trials come to make you strong, it's so rewarding when you realize or when you see that something that you have taught or somebody that you have been attempting to help, somebody you've offered some guidance to, has actually taken that guidance and been able to utilize it. And it's not for me to get glory, but it's for God to get glory, because it was a God within. God gave us all gifts and abilities. It's just up to us to grow up into the mind of God and tap into those things. And that's something deeper that we would have to talk about on another video, like growing into the mind of God, because I don't want to leave people lost on that or confused on that. But we'll talk about that soon. All right. Peace and love, y'all. Have a great week.